All right, so today we're going to dive into one of the most ambitious, most controversial, and honestly, most defining chapters in all of American history. Franklin Delano Roosevelt's New Deal. I mean, this was a huge experiment born out of pure desperation, and its legacy is something we are absolutely still living with today. So let's get right into it.
And that's not just some philosophical question, right? Back in 1933, this was the terrifying reality facing the United States. The Great Depression, it wasn't just a dip in the stock market. It was a total crisis of faith in the entire American system. And if you want a number to really wrap your head around just how bad things were, here it is. 12 million. When FDR took the oath of office, a staggering 12 million Americans were out of work. Think about that. 1 out of every 4 workers. The country was on its knees and people were demanding action. Okay, so here's our game plan. We'll start by looking at just how deep that crisis was. Then we'll see how the New Deal started rewriting the rules of America itself. After that, we'll check out the economic report card, ask if it was really a deal for everyone, and finally, we'll explore the long shadow the New Deal still casts today. All right, first up, how the New Deal completely changed American politics. And this wasn't just about, passing a couple of new laws. No, this was about completely rethinking what the government's job even is. At the very heart of the New Deal was this big idea, government activism. I mean, it was a total 180 from the old hands-off way of thinking. FDR's whole philosophy was that when people are suffering, the government doesn't just get to sit on the sidelines. It has a duty to jump in and act.
So, what did that actually look like on the ground? Well, for the very first time in American history, the federal government took direct responsibility for the welfare of its people. Through brand new programs and FDR's famous fireside chats, his administration worked to give people hope and real, tangible help. And the political fallout from all this? Whoa, it was absolutely seismic. You had this incredible thing happen. A brand new voting bloc was basically forged in the fire of the Depression for the Democratic Party. It pulled together groups that didn't always see eye to eye. Unions, African Americans, immigrants, the rural poor, and created a political force that would dominate for decades to come. Okay, now for the big one, the question that people still argue about today. Did the New Deal actually fix the economy? And let me tell you, the answer is complicated. So, what's the final score? Well, the truth is, it's kind of both a success and a failure. On the one hand, yeah, it provided huge relief. Programs put people to work, and crucial reforms stabilized the entire banking system. But on the other hand, it never actually ended the Great Depression. This chart right here tells the whole story. Just follow the line with me. See that big drop right after FDR takes office? That's hope right there. But then, whoops, look at that spike in '38, a recession inside of the Depression. By 1939, you still had 10 million people out of a job. The really hard truth is that it took the massive, all-out spending for World War II to finally pull the country out of the crisis.
So that gets us to the really human part of this whole thing. The government was handing out help on a scale nobody had ever seen before, but was it a fair deal? Was everyone getting a fair shake? And just as important, who got left out? I think this quote just perfectly sums up how people felt. For millions, the New Deal wasn't some perfect, magical solution. It was messy, it had flaws, but you know what? It was a heck of a lot better than the Hoovervilles and the breadlines. It was a lifeline, and they were going to hang on tight till something better showed up. Now, there were definitely people fighting for equality, especially First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt. She was often called the conscience of the New Deal because she pushed so hard for minority rights. But even with her in the White House, the tough reality was that these programs just weren't equal. They often failed to give women and African Americans the same support. And this data right here is just, wow, it's staggering. While the New Deal did provide some help, it was often segregated, often unequal. And the result? Just look at this chart. The unemployment rate for African Americans stayed at nearly 50%. 50. It's a painful reminder that they were so often the last hired, the first fired, and the last to get help. So, okay, let's bring it back to today. Why does any of this matter now? The New Deal might be over, but believe me, its shadow is long, and it shaped the America we live in today in some really profound ways. While the New Deal's legacy is absolutely huge,
Politically, it totally changed our expectations. We now kind of expect the government to be responsible for the economy and our welfare. Economically, it created things we completely take for granted today, like the FDIC protecting our bank deposits and Social Security. And socially, it brought whole new groups of people into politics and kicked off a really important, even if it was incomplete, conversation about civil rights. And all of this really leaves us with one final and pretty powerful question. FDR fundamentally changed the deal between the American people and their government, and the debate he started almost a century ago about the size and responsibility of our government, well, it's the exact same one we're having at dinner tables and on the news right now. What is its proper role? That's the question the New Deal forced us to ask, and it's a question every single generation has to answer for itself.